You're what the French call les incompetents.
It's not looking good for our dear old Megsy. Is there a divorce in the works? And Harry's being mocked as well, and rightly so. Guys, let's dive into these awesome and, of course, spot-on comments from Reddit this week, shall we? Since that early post, Meghan has done so many unthinkable things. She mocked the late Queen in their Netflix documentary. She let her squaddies attack Catherine when the Princess of Wales was struggling with cancer. These people accused William of beating her to death because she cheated on him with another relative who committed suicide for unrelated reasons, and so he could marry Rose Hanbury. She traveled to other countries, Colombia, Nigeria, on quasi-royal tours and had them foot the bill. There is further confirmation that she bullied staff after the Hollywood Reporter article. Even other celebrities, such as Oprah, are staying clear of her, and those who defended her have gone silent. She claims to protect her children's privacy, but uses other people's kids as PR props. The Uvalde stunt was just horrifying. She still hasn't communicated with her father. Her association with charities is purely self-serving, such as the one with the Parents Network. Her business ventures are shoddily done. Archewell's paperwork is delinquent. She launched American Riviera Orchard, complete with logo and web page, but it's now stuck at the patent office. There are shady dealings at their foundation, with millions still unaccounted for. They lied about being chased in NYC just so they can pretend to be like Diana and to regain British taxpayer-provided security. She continues to use the race card to victimize herself and divides people rather than unites them. She's tweaked herself so much that it does her no favors and still wears her hair the same way with those loose strands. Her fashion choices have slowly worsened through the years. When she was with the RF, she had some good apparel, but none recently. The businesses she supports are dodgy. Clever blends not upfront on ingredients sourced from China. Those Sesta handbags cheat the African women who make them. She used to pretend to be vegan pro-animal life, but is inconsistent with the values, uses leather goods, didn't call out Harry's cruelty to animals in Polo. Still lies, constantly forced school kids' parents in a New York elementary to donate to Archewell by buying her book, and then silence them with NDAs, publicizes every small donation or contribution to a charity, threatened to blab on her in-laws by saying she hadn't been made to sign an NDA, marched in front of veterans at Invictus while wearing shorts, posed with disabled people while ignoring them the whole time, made the Queen's death about herself by demanding to be present, thus delaying Harry's flight, and then being photographed at the palace while the Queen's body was being received. Did fake crying, then did the curtsy she said she couldn't do, and more. Everything I try to think of something nice to say, each one of the above facts came up. The only positive thing I can say today is that she and Harry have stopped having public appearances together, and that is a huge blessing. I just thought of another. She's made Catherine even more beloved. Yea, Meghan has reminded us that some people can be wicked and cruel for no reason at all. Be careful who you let in. That's the craziest part of it. If she had been kind, she would have gotten everything she wanted. She'd be a royal duchess with all the wealth and fame she wanted. But she threw it all away because it required being kind, because she feels she's better than everyone else and knows how to do everything better than anyone else. Nothing to do with working with royalty, it's just her false sense of entitlement. She did kind of give it up. Emo, not really. I think what happened was they acted the way they did. And then after the South Africa interview that fall, there was one other thing. I can't remember what, but something awful after the SA interview. So the Queen told them they couldn't act like this anymore, or they couldn't be working royals. At that point, they refused to change, and to call her bluff, they went to Canada that Thanksgiving, only like 8 weeks after the SA, and then never came back. They wanted to be royals, not leave, but they wanted it on their terms, so they refused to change and were kicked out. This is what I think anyway. Markle was not up to the job and was going to be rumbled sooner rather than later. So she cooked up the racism rubbish so that she had a reason to leave. Her lies were catching up with her, but she thought that by the time they did, she and Harold would be billionaires and immune/shielded from it all. She has raised awareness of what narcissism looks like. Yes, I was shocked at how the awards system works. I was very naive, and my whole life a bit of a pop culture junkie. Now I can hardly watch the Oscars. They really made fools of themselves by going out and buying awards that they don't deserve. The most shocking to me were the Aviation Award and the Pat Tillman Award. I now loathe award shows. Me too. And Harry had the nerve to use the wounded veteran presenters as human shields so he wouldn't get booed off the stage, and had the gall to thank Pat Tillman's mother. She exposed the public relations/paid award grift. She's made us aware that some charities aren't what they seem, and little goes to those that should benefit. That awards can be bought. That's quite a list. She showed us who Harry really is. Harry applies equally. Abhorrent man who publicly betrayed his family and country for profit. His guidance from the palace military switched to guidance by his Todger. Once she had him in her web, well, we know how that's turned out. She's shown us how not to wear clothing which doesn't fit. It's been satisfying watching her get her comeuppance. Liars and grifters getting called out is great to see. Doesn't happen often enough. Nevertheless, she will go down history as someone who squandered so much so fast. As that reporter in Morocco remarked when she shoved in front of Harry at an official reception line, she is repugnant. She was a terrible choice to represent the UK or the BRF. She demonstrated no cultural sensitivity or regard for the people who had been so thrilled to be chosen to meet a royal. I don't think there was a single tour they did where officials didn't have to manage the damage after she trampled over local sensibilities and protocol. She makes us laugh daily, which is good for health. She has courageously raised awareness of elderly abuse through her treatment of her husband's grandparents as well as her own father. Our saint leads by example. She reminds how fragile and important royal family is to UK, the history, representing, honor, all of it, and how one evil person can try to destroy it. It's made me appreciate and value the royal family more as an American and want to defend and protect it from people like her. She saves the world from the horror of her feet when she wears close-toed shoes. Guys, as always, leave your comments down below. Wonder what's going to be in store for these two morons in the year 2025.
Now I'm starting to realize this is a big deal. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like I curtsied as though I was like... Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
We get into it.